and welcome to Sharks Happen. My name is Hal. I'll be your host. In the show we go over shark attacks from the 1900s to present. Mainly large sharks, over 8 feet. So predominantly the bull, the tiger, and the great white, but we'll be going over others, I guarantee you that. I'm going to be keeping track on a whiteboard. Once we get a little further down in this, I'll give some updates on the depths of attacks on swimmers by these large sharks and what percentage of the time are these sharks out looking to eat the people. I will be telling you as we go over the story whether they were out to eat them or not, why I think one way or the other, and you can tell me in the comments whether you agree with me or not. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'll change it. So we're going to get started, and I hope you stay with us. We start out South Australia. Peak Bay, Australia. There's a beach called Wiseman's Beach, so named for a retired fisherman of Kevin Wiseman that's lived there half his life, in the cliff above. Little tin house, I guess. I'd like to see that. But anyway, that's what the beach is named after. March 3rd, Sunday, 1985, Shirley Durdin, her husband Barry, their 4 kids, ages 4 to 11, are heading to the beach to have themselves a good time. They meet up with friends. Beautiful, clear, calm day. The seas are totally calm, totally clear. The Durdins and a friend of theirs, Keith Covington, they decide they're going to go out and they're going to snorkel and pick up some scallops. About 12:30, they're making their way back in. They're about 500 feet from shore, and Barry has himself standing on a rock, a submerged rock, so he can stand without having to wade. Keith is right by him, and then Shirley's still swimming towards them from about 30 feet away. Keith hears a scream, and he says he turned around and saw her lifted out of the water by a huge great white shark. Saw the huge pectoral fin come out of the water and slam her back down into the water and do that shake. I call it a death shake, and the water turned dark. Now Barry's trying to get to his wife, and Keith has to hold him back because he notices that she's done right off the bat. Her legs are ripped off on the first hit. Probably when they shook. I doubt she screamed when the shark bit her. That scream had to have been she saw it coming, so she probably saw all teeth. What a thing to see. But so it took her and bit her in half in the first thing, but it was not done there. All the fisher boats in the area that heard her screaming started heading over. Before they got there, it came back for a second bite in which it took her head and one of her arms. Now the boats get there, and the shark, still not concerned with the boats at all, circles a couple times, grabs the rest of the remains, and disappears in the deep part of the bay. Kevin Wiseman was up on the cliff. He ended up watching the whole thing, said the shark was much larger than his buddy's 4.5 meter boat that was out there, which is 15-foot long boat. They say this was a 19 to 20 foot great white shark. 500 feet from shore, 6.5 feet of water, just over my head. And you have a 2,000, probably 3,000 pound fish in that deep of water, and 6.5 feet of water. So that's our first attack. This is definitely a predation, definitely out to eat the person. We know the depth, 6.5 feet, that'll go onto our log, and we're gonna move on to our next story. Okay, now we head out to the Pacific Ocean, the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 300 miles east of Easter Island. There's a scientific research vessel out there, and it's Wednesday, March 23rd, 1994. On board this research vessel, works in the galley, is one Heather Boswell. She decides to go swimming with 8 other people, so there's 9 people in the water. Beautiful clear water, beautiful, beautiful turquoise color of the water. And they're in the water and they're having a good time, and about an hour and a half after everybody's jumped into the water, a great white shows up. And this thing is 14, 15 feet long. Huge, humongous. It first bites one of the men in the group in the thigh, and he hits it in the snout, and it let go. He was able to make it to a skiff. All of them were swimming over to a skiff to get out of the water. And Heather Boswell was separated from the rest further out from the skiff. So here comes this shark. And he comes in first, he kind of cuts in between Heather Boswell and the other swimmers to get to the boat. So she kind of can't get to the boat. And then it swims down underneath her and grabs her by the foot, and you see her pulled underwater. And this is all on a videotape. You can watch this thing. Very famous attack. Pulls her underwater. does a little shake and lets her go. Now everybody else is now on the skiff and they're trying to help her. She gets back to the top of the water when the shark let her go, and they get her arms. Well, the shark gets her by the thigh. Now it's got a good clamp on her thigh, and there's tug of war ensuing, and you can't really see it, but in the report, somebody on board was beating the shark on the head with the oar, and it ends up just biting down and biting her leg clean off mid-thigh. Now on the video you can hear it pop, and Heather in her interview says that she thought that her leg popped out of socket. And that's what I thought, that it just tore her leg right off, but no, it bit right through her leg. Didn't stop there. There was somebody dangling over the side trying to help her, and it took a shot at him, tried to bite them too on its way out of the area. So no depth to worry about on that one. It was, you know, middle of the ocean, so not normal swimming. It's swimming out in the middle of the ocean, but we do have the information that this shark was trying to consume somebody. So we're going to put this one down as another one of consume. Okay, we're going to round this out. We're going to head back to Australia, to Middle Harbour, Sydney, Sugarloaf Bay. It's Monday, January 28, 1963. Actress Marcia Hathaway and her fiance go down to enjoy the beach. There's warnings from the beach authorities, do not go in the water, or if you go in the water, beware there's sharks in the water. Well, they decided to go into the water anyway. They get 20 feet out and 30 inches of water, 2.5 feet of water, and suddenly, about 5 minutes after they're in, Marcia starts screaming, "Help, help, I've been bit by an octopus." She thought she had been bit by an octopus. So her fiance is standing next to her at the time, and he saw the shark bite her below her left calf. They get her out of the water, and it turns out that she was bitten below the left calf. She had a chunk taken out of her thigh that severed the artery there, which is what led her to die. Got her in the buttocks and got her in her arm also. So she was bit about 4 times in a matter of seconds, probably leading to her thinking that she got bit by an octopus. Something with that many arms. Something happened to her. She just got mauled. So they got her out of the water, got her into the ambulance, and they start heading up a steep grade from the beach, and the ambulance breaks down. And they have to wait for another ambulance to get there and take her in, and she ends up not making it. So that's our third story. We don't know what kind of shark. They said it was a bronze whaler. Bronze whaler is a pretty big shark, pretty lethal to people when they get around them. But you know, most researchers think that it's a bull shark. I think it's a bull shark. That sounds like what a bull shark does. If a bull shark's going to bite you once, they're probably going to want to eat you, and that goes for every bull shark. They're just probably the worst temperament of any shark there is. I don't know how many times a bull shark has bit a person and just let them be. I don't know, even if they get hit. I don't think that happens with a bull shark. So, you know, let me know what you think of the first 2 stories in the comments, because those are both going to go down as predations. Let me know what you think of Heather Boswell, especially. I mean, I think if they got her, you know, away from that group, that would be it. That shark was going to take care of business. So I'm putting both those down as a predation attempt. And, you know, we got a 6.5 foot depth of water on the first attack, and the depth of the water in the second one doesn't matter. It's an open ocean, but we do have predation attempts on both of those. So that's how it's going to be on this first episode. I hope you'll join me again for another episode. If you like what you see, please click like. If you want notifications of when the next episodes are coming up, then click subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will see you later. But remember, if you're going in that water, you are much more afraid of those sharks than they are of you.